Okay, everybody, the screen says we are live. I want to thank everyone for coming in, especially if you're here waiting. Once I hit the live button, it does send another notification out. So a lot of people come in after the fact. What I noticed with YouTube is like 30 minutes before, if it's scheduled, it'll send a notification, and then it sends another one out as soon as I hit the button. So again, I want to thank everybody for coming in on a Saturday night. This is Music and Gear, and we made some more. Well, we haven't made the changes yet. I'm making more changes to some of the equipment. This will be the last change that I think you guys will actually see as far as improvements. There are some behind the scenes things that will take place after this upgrade. But whether or not you guys see it, I don't know. I do want to bring up a couple topics though. I want the channel to grow. So to grow, you know, we have moderators that are in the chat. So we always have to keep in mind, guys, yes, it's a live stream, but I'll leave the live streams up for people to go back and watch at a later date, especially the reviews. So I want everyone to try to keep that in mind. You know, sometimes I use colorful metaphors. Maybe I shouldn't, but there's times when I'm reviewing a guitar. Linnell and I were talking about it earlier today. She goes, well, you said the HIT word. I'm like, yeah, and that was the best way of describing it. Sometimes a colorful metaphor gets the point across better than just saying, it's not really good. So with that being said, I'm going to try to clean up a little bit, and that doesn't mean that I'm altering how I am. Some things have slipped, like the Donner review that we did. In a way that kind of adds to the colorfulness of this channel. Was the Donner horrible? It wasn't a horrible guitar, but it definitely wasn't the guitar that all these YouTube channels were talking, that it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. It played out of the box. You know, for that kind of money, anything under $200, I hate to say it, but if you take it out of the box and it plays, that's probably pretty good. You have to stop and think what $200 buys you nowadays. So that being said, I'm still critical on it. And I'm critical, I guess, mainly because of YouTube. When I see other channels, you know, talk about these budget brands and they compare them to brands that have fewer problems, then I need to say something. And that goes for a couple different ways. I want to qualify things. If you buy a Firefly, it's a $200 to, well, we'll say $180 to $280 guitar. They're not making as much on that instrument as, let's say, Gibson makes on one of their low-end instruments. Gibson has to make more. They have to. They have more overhead, and they have a department where you can call in if you have an issue. They have a warranty department. There's people that work there. There's shipping. When you buy a Firefly, there's one or two people there, and the process is really slow. And usually what they offer you is 5–10% off on your next purchase. Now, I have heard people say that they'll credit my account. But normally what Firefly does, and they did it with me once or twice, they give you 10% off or 15% off your next purchase. Well, if you're not buying another guitar, that doesn't help you too much. And very rarely do they just say, hey, send it back, we'll refund your money. So when you pay more for an instrument, there's more to it than just what I hear, all they're gouging me. Schecter and these brands, they have to make money, guys. You know, what's the old saying? No one goes into business to lose money and work for peanuts. Usually when you go into business, you want to make more money than what your employer's giving you. You feel that what you do is worth more than what you're making where you're at. And you figure, I will go out on my own and I'll work hard and I'm going to make a product or a service and I'll charge more money for exactly what I'm doing now, but I'll make more. And these companies see it the exact same way. They want to make a good product, but they want to make a product to that point. Okay? Can Fender, since everyone's poo-pooing Fender, and the only reason I'm picking on Fender is they have a thing called a Debut. And the Debut's a $150 guitar. You can get it in the bass. Oh, I got to unmute Linnell's mic. There you go, honey. What'd you say?
I said it's a Debut.
Debut. They have a bass, they have a Strat, they have a Tele, and they're about $150. That is definitely in the budget range. My issue, and my only issue with the Debut is Amazon. And you're just like, well, you like Amazon. I do like Amazon. If you have a problem with an Amazon product, I haven't had a problem returning something to Amazon. My issue with Amazon is they had so much buying power, they went to FMC and said, wow, that's loud. I don't know what that is. It's not on this end.
No, it is. It's over here behind us, street over.
Guys, welcome to living in a neighborhood. That's somebody revving their car up or something. My issue with the Debut is in Amazon goes to FMC and they say, look, we need a product from you that'll be similarly priced to Leo James and all these other companies. Well, Fender looks at it and goes, okay, they got a lot of buying power. So they make less, but they sell more. Okay, does that make sense? They're making less mark on that product, but they're going to sell more of them. And Amazon is taking care of the load, the returns, the warranty items, because it's going back to Amazon. So that takes a load off of Fender. Is everyone that gets that Fender going to call Amazon directly? Or are they going to call Fender? They're probably going to use Amazon. That's where they purchased it. They're going to send an email, get a hold of, I received this product, it's not blah, blah, blah. Amazon's going to say, whether it's a computer, automated service, whatever, Amazon is taking care of the back end. Okay? My issue with that is Fender did not or has not allowed their dealer network to carry that guitar. Okay? So their dealers, their franchise dealers, do not have access to it. Their cheapest guitar is the Bullet. Okay? So not only is Fender taking their franchise dealers and kind of poking them with the Amazon, which online sales is really, it's a large share, if not more of a share than brick and mortar stores now. A lot of stuff is sold online. Okay? So now you're going to poke the bear a little bit more and you're going to give a guitar to Amazon that your franchise dealers don't have. That's strike number one. Strike number two, they start their own website and now they're selling guitars on their website, and they've sold these guitars at a MAP price to their franchise dealers. And I've seen it. I've seen Fender sell that guitar under MAP on their site, but then require their dealers to sell it for X. If the dealer wants to turn around and sell that guitar for $1 over they paid for it, they're a franchise dealer. As long as they're buying the product from Fender, I get it. Understand why MAP is created. MAP is created, it's created to save the other dealers, and it's also there to protect you, the consumer. So if Yamaha didn't have a MAP price on this guitar of $850, and let's say the dealer pays $600 for it, and this dealer over here is just moving a tremendous amount of volume, they start selling this guitar for $650. Well, that smaller dealer can't compete. They can't sell 2 or 3 of these a year and make $50. Okay? Now, if this starts selling at $650 all across the board, what's the guitar worth? Well, it's worth $650. It doesn't matter what the retail price is, okay? Because no one sells under retail anymore. The MAP price is lower than the retail price. So the MAP price is there. So if I buy it over here at $850, this place over here has to sell it at $850 as well. So it keeps this model at the same price. So you, the consumer, should not get screwed unless it's an authorized sale. I really don't have an issue with that. I kind of see it, okay? But when that company turns around and then lists that product on their website below the MAP, okay, and then sells it, I got an issue with that. Now, Fender can do that because they're making their mark selling it to their franchise dealers, okay? If this is an $850 guitar, take 30 to 35% off. That's what the dealer is paying for the guitar. You know, then if they choose to set the guitar up and make sure it's playing right before they put it on the floor, the dealer eats that because it's a MAP price. Fender already made their money. So if they turn around and put it on their website for $100 under MAP, they're still making more money doing that than they would selling it to the franchise dealer. So I'm not picking on Fender. This happens with Gibson. This happens with Schecter. It happens with anyone that sells to a retail store or has a distributor. That's the game that's played. Kiesel and Carvin, they've always been either catalog, mail-in, phone orders. You don't see new Kiesels or Carvins back in the day being sold at stores. They wanted that 30% to be savings directly to you. You buy it off us, this is our price, and you're eliminating the middleman. That's why it was always so much bang for the buck. That's why a lot of these guitar companies have their own brand. Whether it's Michael Kelly at Guitar Center or Harley Benton from Thomann, whichever brand you want to say. I don't know if AMS has their own brand or not. But a lot of these house brands, East Coast guitars from Anderson's, they're great guitars. There's nothing wrong with them. Anderson's buying that direct off the manufacturer. So if you buy a $100 East Coast guitar, if that went through a dealer network, that guitar would probably be $140. If you buy a $200 one, it would probably be a, $260 to $280 guitar. So where am I going with this? I don't know. I get out on a tangent, and I just want to discuss it because we're always looking for good instruments, and we're going to do more budget guitars. But I guess where I was going with this is if you buy a $200 or $300 budget brand guitar, you can't pick up the phone and expect to get customer service. You're paying the minimum for that guitar. So if you pull it out of the box at $150 and it plays, I'd say it's a plus, if that makes sense. But you are losing other things than just how this guitar plays. If I had a problem with it, I could go to my dealer, my local store, or I could call Yamaha directly if I had an issue for them to take care of it. Firefly's not very good. Their customer service really isn't that good. But should it be better? I don't know. But I accept it because I'm paying $200 for the guitar. I understand they can't have, 20 or 30 receptionists or people in the back doing warranty claims, filling out order forms so you can call and ask questions. The money's not there on the guitar. If they raise their price point $100 for every guitar, then yeah, I would expect something on the back end with Firefly to get better. just like Steve Brown's, or what is it, Guitar Fetish, I would expect it to get better since I'm paying more. I guess the point is, where's the sweet spot? I think Linnell's trying to get a word in edgewise.
Timothy said someone gave him I don't know if I'm saying it, Takamine.
Yeah, I always called it Takamine.
I don't know, but it's acoustic electric guitar, and his question is, would it be hard to make it a lefty?
It depends on how the saddle's cut down here. You're probably going to have to replace the wooden bridge because your intonation on that bar that goes across, it's cut, okay? But you'll notice it's cut at an angle. When you make it a lefty, it'll be backwards, okay? So the guitar is not going to intonate. Somebody with more experience than me, I don't think anyone makes a system that would sit on the top to change the intonation. So most likely what you would have to do is you're going to have to delaminate the wooden bridge that's on the top of the guitar and then get a left-hand bridge and put on the guitar because the angle here is going to be different. And even when you do that, it has to be set perfect. Because if you look at that piece of bone or the plastic, there's little angles cut where the string goes across. That's them attempting to get the intonation as close as possible because you only have 1/8 of an inch, okay? That means they can move that intonation 1/8 of an inch wherever that line is across on an angle, okay? Are they perfect? No, they're not. It's like an older Fender Tele that only has the little brass saddles, but that's part of the reason the Telecaster had a unique sound. The intonation was out just a little bit and people would split it. Oh, this string here's a little sharp, this one's spot on, and this one's a little flat. But that's as good as I can get it. But as you play it, it gives a guitar a certain sound. So a lot of that Tele sound from the original ones was because of the way the saddle and the bridge worked. And acoustic's the exact same way. So I don't think that you could just flip it. Now, as long as you're playing cowboy chords, how far would it be out in 2 or 3 frets? It would be out, but as long as you're just playing up here, as long as you're doing that, it would probably be close enough. But it's not going to be right, if that makes sense. Ask a review to comparing the West Creek LP and the Acolyte. Beretta Vandy, we had a subscriber, Birdman, sent in a West Creek LP.
He was just asked apparently to do a review.
Oh, you were? Cool. The West Creek LP is a great guitar for the price. At least the one that I received. Fantastic instrument. I thought the pickups were decent on it. It played great. The fit and finish was good. I mean, we're talking. I think that guitar was like $160. It's unbelievable how nice that guitar was for $160 on the West Creek, and that's the one that we got. And I'm pretty sure that was Birdman that sent that guitar in. The Acolyte stuff. The only thing that I really remember is when they first come out, they were sending them to all the typical YouTube channels, and all the typical YouTube channels were making excuses why the push-pulls didn't work. You know, the best one I heard was, oh yeah, it's got a push-pull, but they didn't wire it. But they put it in there to give you the option to wire it later. I'm going to translate. No. They screwed up, they miswired the guitar, and now all these guitars are sitting in the Amazon warehouse and they can't fix them. So that's them just saying, yeah, you're going to get it, the push-pull doesn't work, so if you want it to work, you're going to have to wire it. They just screwed it up at the factory. So that leaves a bad taste in my mouth from that whole campaign, and it wasn't just one run, it was a couple different runs. Another good one which I was the first channel to point out was the Leo James with the Roman numerals on the guitar. The Roman numerals were wrong. And I pointed out, and people were like, no, they're right. And after people went to the website and looked, they were all wrong. And what was funny is they made one guitar on the first production run that the Roman numerals were right. And again, this is why I don't know if they're building their guitars or not. Why would you only have one guitar in a certain color that the neck is right on, but all the other colors and all the other models they made with the Roman numerals, they're wrong? So again, there's a reason why you're paying $250 for the guitar. There's no quality control. There's a gap in language. There's no customer service. And it's just, we're going to make X, put them together. If it's a good guitar, great. If it's a guitar, If it's a bad guitar, doesn't matter. We've already made it. Send it to Amazon. That's pretty much what you get. That's why I always tell people, well, what do you think of this guitar? Well, I can tell you this production run was good, okay? But the drawback to Leo James, Firefly, even Grote, I'm assuming West Creek would fall under the exact same thing. I can review that guitar and it looks the same. But if you buy one 3 production models later, it may look the same, but was the tooling set up right? Did they make changes? You don't know how that next production run's going to be. So I always try to keep that with a grain of salt, if that makes sense. If you're looking at a budget guitar, don't try to get it from Amazon. Because if you get it and it's just bad, return it. That's really the only resource that you have.
Beretta Vandy, he has both guitars, the West Creek and the Acolyte. He said after playing both, he found that the West Creek has a warmer, fuller, classic sound, while the Acolyte has a more metal sound.
I can kind of see that. I really liked the West Creek, and we were going to order a West Creek. It was the one that looked like the George Lynch model. It was like tiger stripe, and I started seeing even the suspect channels saying stay away from it. And when you see the suspect channels, you guys know who they are, say that there's some issues, that's a pretty good sign that it's a really, really, really bad guitar, because they're saying, well, I had to do this or I had to do that, and this isn't quite right. When they start backpedaling and then talking about, but it's only this, it's bad. So we kind of took a couple steps back and I didn't order it.
Is that a Yamaha RGX Super Strat from the late 80s or early 90s?
This one? No, this is a Yamaha Pacifica. Fantastic guitar. This guitar is still being produced. It's a flame maple top, Seymour Duncan pickups, Wilkinson bridge, locking tuners, even though it doesn't have knobs on the back. These are locking tuners. So when you put the string in and you disengage it, it unlocks, okay? And when you put the string in, you give it a quarter turn and it comes up and locks the string. So it's an automatic locking and delocking tuner. Do I like them? In a way, I do like them. The reason I'm going to say I don't like them is I always forget how to operate them. Because sometimes when you're going to replace the string, you got to flip the tuner to get it to unlock when you're unwinding it. Because it won't unlock as long as there's string tension, okay? So it needs to see no string tension, and then when you hit it like this, it unlocks. It's kind of goofy, but they do work. Once you put the string in and you give it that corner turn, and it sees that string pressure, it locks and it does hold really well. You can see I only have about 3/4 of a wrap on these tuners. Okay, see that? And there's no locker on the back.
The West Creek Underdog has vintage Alnico pickups.
Underdog. I'm pretty sure that's the LP. is the Underdog. I'm pretty sure that's the Les Paul is the Underdog. I like that guitar. If you're looking for a Les Paul style guitar and you want to spend the bare minimum, I can honestly say that for the one that I received, that was a very solid guitar. If you're planning on doing hot rodding and stuff like that, again, that's a good platform because one, I thought the guitar sounded decent right out of the box. So you could get that guitar. The first thing you could do if you wanted to is put upgraded tuners on it. I don't think the tuners were that bad out of the box, but tuners equal tuning stability. I would put tuners on it, and if you want, maybe change the pickups.
Do you recommend online Zoom guitar lessons or in-person lessons for an intermediate guitarist student?
I'm going to say your online is going to be better, but I want to qualify that. If you sign up for online lessons, make sure that you have access to go back and watch that video. Let's say you're 5 videos in, that you can always go back and re-watch your previous videos. And then you can watch them over and over and over and over again. The reason I say that is when you're in front of an instructor and you're learning something new, you can do it there, okay? And then you're going to follow him all through the lesson. By the time you get home, how much of that did you retain? You're not in front of him anymore. You can't go back and go, and how did he do that again? If you have an online lesson, you can always go back and rewatch it and continue to hammer it out. Because when you're in front of somebody, you may not get it right away. But in a lesson, you have to move on. He's going to move on. Okay, let's go to this. Online, you can watch it over and over and over again, okay? And you're not always going to get everything right away. That's what I'm saying. As long as you can go back and rewatch it and you can continue to learn, that's the way to do it. That's the way to go. As long as you pick a good program. That's the thing. There's so many of them out there. I just think nowadays, plus you're in the comfort of your own home, if that makes sense. I would do online. As much as I like taking lessons at local music stores and local artists teaching you, just the benefit of being able to always go back and rewatch an episode if you're struggling with something until you get it, that's worth $1 million. That's what I would do. And if you're learning, what I tell people is play 1 hour a day, okay? And I'm not saying practice 1 hour a day, okay? Remember why you're playing guitar, because you think it's cool and it's fun. If you're sitting there and you're working on scales the whole time, it's going to get really old really quick. So you want to be able to have fun. Just work on your scales. Whatever your scale is, 15 minutes max of doing scales. Give yourself max 15 minutes, basic chords. And don't sit and just strum the chord. You're practicing. Practice changing your chords, whether it's then just practice changing chords, whether it's, I'm in a drop tune, hold on. So whether you're going from here just practice switching chords. Let me go to a clean channel and I'll. So if you're going from. just practice changing. That's where you screw up. It's not necessarily the strum pattern, okay? It's going from maybe the D to the G. You can learn the strum pattern, but if you can't switch from the D to your G quickly, there's no sense in trying to learn songs that have quick changes. So spend 5 or 10 minutes. We'll just say 10 minutes on doing, even if it's simple pentatonic stuff. Don't spend all night doing it. Do it a little bit, practice your chords, and then after you're done all that, play.
Mark said for both lesson learning formats, I get a 4 to 8 minute lesson recap to supplement my learning for in Zoom and in-person lessons. What do you think?
Recap to supplement. Is this online? I'm assuming. It's Zoom. What I would do if it's Zoom, if you're doing a Zoom call with somebody, I would see if your computer will record your Zoom call and save it. Okay? I don't think it's a bad idea if you're taking a lesson through Zoom, but see if you can record the Zoom call. And the reason I say that is once the lesson is done and you do your recap, you come back tomorrow and you're like, what's that chord he was doing? If you've got it recorded, you can go back and re-watch your Zoom call. That's the key, being able to go back 2 or 3 days from now and re-watch it. So as long as you could go back and watch it, I don't think that would be an issue.
And
Just see if you can record it.
Mr. Fett said there are free lessons that come with music books. He bought a music piano book. The book comes with like 20 videos of lessons that can be downloaded to computer or watched and learn online websites.
Yeah. In today's society, okay, guys, learning guitar is far easier. We struggled. I remember being in bands, and there were certain songs that we wanted to play, but let's just say we couldn't quite get what the band was doing, whether it was me or the other guitarist. And could we pull it off? It sounded close, but sometimes there was just something off. You know, whether it was how the bass was playing the third or the fifth, or the tune of the vocals. They're called applied chords, where the guitar will just play one thing, the bass might be hitting the root, and then the vocalist is playing the third note. Alice in Chains was big on doing this. If you listen to the vocals, it's applied chording. So it was really difficult to learn those type songs. So we would just move on. If we were struggling that much with it, we would move on. And there was other songs that just naturally come to us, we would learn and play. That's what I'm saying. As long as you can go back and re-watch the lesson, I think you're okay. There's going to be a lesson that you're going to struggle with, and you may not get it that time. You might just go, I'm not tracking. I'm not following what you're doing. That doesn't mean that you won't track with it even a day later, or a week later, or a month later. If you can go back and re-watch that lesson, and you go, oh, I get it now, then move forward. But don't get so worried about it that you feel, and every guitarist, I don't care at what level you're at, there's always something to learn, okay? And I know what you're thinking, well, if I get to this level, I'll be happy. We're guitar players, okay? When you get to that level, there's going to be something else that you're going to want to learn that you're struggling with. When you get that, there's going to be something else. That's what makes the instrument so awesome. It doesn't really matter where you are in your journey. There's always something that you want to be able to do that you're just struggling with. And you're like, if I could just get this. And then you get it, and you're like, oh, you should be done. No, there's going to be some other lead or some other artist is doing something. Oh, that's so cool. How's he doing it? And you want to learn that. It's a never-ending learning thing. And that's what's so cool about it.
What book or DVD do you recommend to learn guitar theory easily?
I don't have a recommendation on that, to be honest with you. I really don't. There's so many out there. I would start slow. First, learn the notes on your fretboard. And I'm going to tell you right now, I should go back and do it. We get in a habit of playing by ear and just going, where's he at? And we stop and forget what every note on the fretboard is. And there are patterns and things that you're going to see that repeat. If you can learn every note and you pay attention as you're playing it and you say the note in your head, you will be so far ahead of the average guitar player, because the average guitar player doesn't do that. And like I said, whether it's, I couldn't tell you each one of those notes as I played them. I would have to sit and think about it.
Well, Jupe has it right. He said, that is why nobody is the best, because there's always something else to learn.
Exactly. I mean, we can, right, that's a great answer, Jupe. I mean, I can think of awesome guitar players, and I guarantee you, if you got them off to the side, they would sit and say, yeah, I wish I could play like this guy. And it's like, what are you talking about, dude? You're freaking awesome. And they're like, this dude is awesome. And then you talk to the dude that he just said was awesome. There's probably someone that he's like, I don't know how this cat does it, but that's freaking cool. It's a style. And don't try to be like someone. You might like a style and appreciate it, but that style may not be you. You may love listening to it, but it just may not be what's natural to you, if that makes sense. So don't force it. That's why I was saying, if you're practicing, practice a little bit, but don't forget just to pick the darn guitar up and have fun. Because, and if you can, let me try to get this thing switched. And if you can, try to record yourself. And the reason for that is, as you play, you're going to hear things that aren't in key. And before you say, well, you shouldn't play if you're not in key. Well, that's not true. You can do passing tones, and there's certain notes that you can play that'll bridge you over to a different key in the song. You're going to start to learn what you can get away with, just like when I'm... There are notes in that are not in that key. I know that. They're passing tones, and as long as I resolve back to it, I can play a note that's not necessarily in the key that I started in, as long as I resolve it back to it. That doesn't mean you can get away with murder on the fretboard. It'll start really sounding awful. That's why, like jazz, when it starts really going out in right field and left field, I'm kind of like, I can appreciate it, but it's so far out of whack compared to what I'm used to. I'm kind of like, I know it's complicated, I know it's hard to do, but I can't listen to it. And I can appreciate it, but it's not something I'm going to put on the radio when I'm going on vacation. I'm not going to, does that kind of make sense? So you got to find that comfortable spot as a guitar player. How far can you push it and still make it enjoyable for the common person to play? If that's what you're into. If you're just into playing for yourself and you want to go out on right field and that's the type of music that you're inspiring to play, knock yourself out. It's difficult. There's a reason why jazz players are as phenomenal as they are. A lot of those guys are just on a completely different level than, well, they're definitely on a completely different level than I am on. But even a professional musician will say, yeah, those guys are just music theory, feel. They've got it all, kind of. They know where they can and can't go, but they also have feel. And a good jazz player knows theory, and he knows how far he can push it, and he keeps pushing it. Then he adds a little feel to it. And that's what gives it that blues, jazz, that's what gives it that feel. The notes alone don't get it done. Guys, if you listen to how I play, I'm not playing anything difficult. I'm trying to influence the notes and make it sound like me. Vibrato really makes a difference in your playing. If I can play these notes, listen. Those are the notes. But now if you play it with feel, just bending. That double stop. You're not trying to it's not the notes, it's how you're playing it. Your resolve. And you listen to these guys, we'll say Vi. If you watch how Vi bends, it's a weird circle thing. Watch his finger. His finger is moving back and forth between the fret, and it's also going up and down. It's a really... I can't. I've sat for like 10 or 15 minutes trying to go, okay, I got to make a circle. And that's about the best I can. It's a very strange vibrato, but if you watch his videos, he's got this little circle thing he's doing, but it gives the note a certain sound. That's why a lot of times you'll go, oh, that's Vi. Well, why is that? Because he has a way of playing the note, and it just sounds like Vi. Well, that's one of the things Vi does. Vi also, he's big on this. He flicks forward, and he does it very quickly, and he lands on the... Much better than anything that I can do. But if you watch him, he'll drag forward, he'll land on a note. Now, even though that note's right here, he can play it in another spot that would be far easier to reach. But he doesn't get that. It's the same note. What? It doesn't sound the same because he's pulling forward. It gives him the sound. Yeah.
What small practice combo amp do you recommend to practice in the living room? This is Mark. He said he has his main amp in his music room, but he needs a small amp in his living room to practice when watching TV. He has a PV amp.
If the best bang for the buck, and I hate to say it, sometimes you can't reinvent the wheel. The Boss Katana, for what they ask for them, they're stupid nice. That you're going to get a little bit of effects with it, and the amp sounds good even at low volumes. So you can sit with the amplifier all the way down. You're still going to get that. It's still going to give you that push and that distortion, but you can just play it. It's going to have a headphone jack. You've got a bunch of different effects with it.
And JR Custom Shop said that the little $35 amps on Amazon are fine.
Yeah, you can do, if you want something that basic, then yeah, just get yourself like I've got one downstairs. I paid $85 for it. It's a Core 2 Black Star. It's a little tiny thing. I think it's a 10 watt Black Star. I paid $85 for it. That little amp, for $85, Nuex makes a little $150 amp. How much was the one Short Bus bought? That was like $150, wasn't it?
I think so.
That little Nuex amp was a nice amp too. If it depends on your budget. If you want to spend $300, get a Katana. If you want to spend $150, I would probably go with like a Nuex. And some people are probably going to say the Spark. I hear a lot of people say the Spark is really nice, little combo amp. but the new X does well. Yeah, new X. I forget the new X model, but in today's world, you don't have to spend that much if that's all you're looking for. And keep in mind, it's not a tube amp. It's just a little practice amp. But if you think you're going to be unhappy and it's going to say, oh, I don't like this, maybe spend a little bit more and get the Katana. I'm not saying the Katana is perfect, but for $300, I don't think you can beat it. And if you want, you can take that Katana. I had the Gen 2 Katana. We went to a wedding. I was outside with it. No problems whatsoever with that little Katana. I had a Katana 50, Gen 2. It was freaking loud. And I was outside. A lot of these little amps, you put them out on your porch, and it's just like, where's the volume? It's like once you put it outside and it has nothing to bounce the sound off of, it disappears. That little Katana did really good outside, and it was lightweight. It's hard to beat. Would the new X do that? I don't know. I never took the new X outside, but it was quite loud. So I would go probably that route. I wouldn't go tube, even though you could probably find a used tube amp somewhere. Linnell's got a little Vibro Champ in the basement. You know, you could probably get one of those beat up cheap. I just don't recommend it because you're going to need pedals. And the whole point in having like something in the living room is just something that you can plug into, turn a little knob, and get some sounds out of. Linnell, she's got this little, I don't know if you can see it right there. That's a GTX 100 that Fender makes the LT version. I think the Katana and the new X would be more bang for the buck, but there's a lot of different things out there that you can look at. If you're a Line 6 fan, the Catalyst is still made. I just don't think the Catalyst is as nice. If you buy a Catalyst for the same money as the Katana, and you look at the Katana and the Catalyst about the same price, I think the Katana just has a better sound, if that makes sense. And believe it or not, if the Katana sounds the way it does, if you put a good speaker in the Katana, it sounds even better. The weak point in the Katana is that little speaker. I've heard them with upgraded speakers, and it's like night and day difference, the little Katana with a speaker. I don't know if anyone here has, spent 60, 70 bucks on an upgraded speaker and stuck in their Katana, but it actually does make a big difference. Not saying the stock speaker is bad, but if you get to the point you're like, I want a little extra on my Katana, you can upgrade the speaker. Just thought of the brand. They advertise it as a replacement speaker for the Katana. Mojo Tone makes a speaker that if you go to their website, they'll say it's perfect for the Katana. It's a good driver for the little Katana. What do we got, hon? I missed out on part of it. $35 amp on Amazon. Yeah, we got that one covered.
Annoying Critic said, I wonder how much the used 40s are.
I don't know. If you got 150, I want to say it was either 150 or 180 that Short Bus bought his new X for. Anytime you can buy used, you're going to save money. That's just how it is. I tell people, if you know you're going to keep, even if you don't know you're going to keep it, if you buy used and it says used mint, someone's already taken the hit on it. Okay? As long as you get it as a good price, you could sell it for that price.
Wicked Fester says he has the Katana head and he runs it through a Fender 4x12.
Now, if you want to spend the money, they make a more professional version of the combo, and I want to say it's like $900. It's a Boss something tone. That's a stupid nice amp. I think the issue with that amp is it's right at the price point. It's kind of like, if I spend a little bit more, I can get a Synergy head, or I can get the Synergy, and build on it. You got to stop and think. Like right now, if I was buying a head, I would probably buy the Synergy IR20. Why would I do that? Well, if I want a Bassman sound, I can throw the Bassman module on it. If I want the Friedman sound, I put my Friedman module that I have over here in my Synergy right in it. If I want a Sedona, I never have to change the IR20. If I want a Bogan sound, I put the Bogan preamp in it. If I want the diesel sound, I put the diesel preamp in it. It's something that you can grow, but you're not going to buy something like that and the cabinet for under $1,500.
JR Custom Shop says Spark 40 used $150. A new X Mighty on sale, $150.
That's what it is, a new X Mighty.
And he said he just saw a Lunchbox EVH used for $650 on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, deals are out there. If you can buy used, that's what I would do. Like this guitar here, I'm not putting down Yamaha, okay? But Yamaha gets no love. They don't. And their resale shows they get no love. Why? I have no idea. This is a fantastic guitar. The Revstars, fantastic guitars. Their acoustics, fantastic acoustics. So if you're looking for a Pacifica like this, I would go on Reverb and type in this model, and see if I can get a mint used one or an open box. That's how I would buy it. Because if you're on the fence and you don't really know, you're going to keep it 6 or 7 months, you're going to get $600 max for this guitar used, and you're going to pay $850 for it plus tax. That's the reality of guitars. But if you can get on Reverb and you can pay $600 for this, and it's used mint, what's the difference? You bought it for $600, so you get it, you play it a couple months, you're still going to get around that price as long as you keep it nice and don't scratch and beat it up. It's still going to bring the same. So someone else is taking that hit. I've been looking for an IR20 Synergy head. The reason I want it is it has cab R's and stuff already in it. So I could take that little head, I could set it on my desk, I could take my Sedona module or my Friedman module, stick in it. I can come right out of that, right to my wing rack. Done. Tell it what cabinet I want, what, power amp, sim, all that's in it, right to the wing rack. And I could push a button on it, and I can send it out to my 412 cabinet right there, because it's a 20-watt head. It's the best of both worlds. It's got an effects loop, so if I want to run my Line 6 stomp, I can put my Line 6 stomp in the effects loop, and I can still go direct to the wing rack through the IR. And if I want to crank it up, I can put it in either one of my cabinets. My little 20, well, I think these are 25-watt Celestion greenbacks in my PV. I'm not sure what the Pentas are rated at, but I plug it into each one, see what they sound like. And I got a V30 cabinet over here. I'm not a big fan of the V30s, but for certain style of music, I could try both. But that amp works both ways. There's so many options. I think Kurt just bought a rack mount Helix. If you're into that, you can get a nice, all the Helixes are the same. It's not like they did a hardware change. Instead of paying $1,800 for a brand new one, you can get on Reverb, you can buy one for $1,000. I think he paid $1,000 for his with the foot controller. That's a lot of processing power. I mean, I want a Fractal. I want the rack mount Fractal. But it's like $3,000. Probably closer to $3,500 if I got the foot controller. How much better is it? Is it better? I'm sure it's better. But would that Helix do me? Well, it's 10 times better effects than my 30-year-old Art. I mean, it's digital, but I could take that Helix again. I could take my Synergy rack mount preamp with my Sedona module and my Friedman module, I could come out of that and do a 4-cable method into that rack mount Helix, and I'd have me a heck of an amplifier. And the Helix has IR out. So for $1,000, I could do a rack mount Helix, use my rack mount Sedano, and do the exact same thing instead of doing the IR20. There's so many different ways of getting there. It depends on what you're doing. The only drawback to the rack mount Helix and using my Synergy module, now I can't go to my cabinet unless I have my power amp. With the IR20, I can do the exact same thing, and I have a 20-watt power amp in the IR20, and I can fire my cabinet. Excuse me. It's not a big deal. I have a rack mount tube power amp, but you're trying to simplify it for the stream. So which would be better? For me, probably the rack mount Helix. Now I'll think about it. And this is the circle we all go through. We go, oh, this will be great. Then stop and think about it. Really pay attention to all your buying options. What would be the best for what you're doing? Now, it could change in a year. What you're doing now may not necessarily be doing what you're doing in a year. So try to pick something that you can either grow with, or in a year, if you're not streaming or if you're not playing out live, that you can still repurpose and use at your home, or vice versa. You think you're at home playing now, and you might be out playing live. What you're buying now, will it adapt and move forward with your playing? So what's the old saying, buy once, cry once? So just understand what you're getting. If what you want is a living room practice amp, I wouldn't spend a lot of money, especially if you've already got your main rig. That's your main rig. Okay? You've got your main rig. It sounds awesome. Now I just want something to putter with in the living room. Get yourself a Katana or the NuX or something like that, and it's all you need. You can sit and practice. I was doing that for a long time, but now that I have this set up, literally I do exactly what I'm doing right now. The line 6 goes directly to the wing, and then I come out of the wing to the interface to you guys. Well, if I'm not streaming, I just open up the main output. It goes to the power amp to my control room monitors. So what I'm doing right here, I can do that because my computer and everything's already on. There's no difference. If I'm sitting here watching YouTube, the computer's on, the amp's on, the wing rack's on, because my computer and everything go into the wing. Same with the guitar. I just turn on that channel and now I can play. That's why I stopped playing my rack. Because when I play my rack, whether I'm using this little guy or these guys, I got to go through the cabinet. And it influences these microphones. So I can't talk to you and play like I'm doing now because this is all fake. There's no amp in the room. When I'm playing this, my daughter in the room, all she hears is me like playing this guitar unplugged. That's all she hears. So it works. It works in every scenario. It just depends on what you're doing, if that makes sense. Nowadays, guys, we really do have it good. There's so many different things that we can do. Linnell's got this little Yamaha. If you're thinking about an inexpensive amp that you can move forward and maybe do some streaming with, that little THR-10 amp that she has, we played that thing on the stream for months live. I wish Yamaha, if you're listening, build me a THR-10 and a pedal. I'm telling you, don't put speakers in it, don't put a power amp in it. Give me the effects side and the preamp side, put it in a pedal. I'm telling you, you got a winner. That would be an awesome little pedal. Just exact same knobs, put it in a big fat pedal. people will buy it. It's a fantastic sounding preamplifier. Leave the IRs, all that stuff that you have in it. Just remove the Class D amp and remove the speakers. And I guarantee you that would sell. I would love to have that in a pedal format. If I had that in a pedal format, I would not be using this Line 6 Stomp. I like it so much better than the Line 6 Stomp. Does it have the power and the effects of the Line 6 Stomp? No. But I like it better because I can get a sound quicker and easier on that than I can the Stomp. So it depends on what you're doing. The Stomp, there's no knobs. I can't make a quick adjustment. On the Yamaha, I just reach over. I want more gain. I can still use my computer, but I don't have to. I can just reach over and change the gain knob. I can change the treble knob. I can add effects. I can take some effects out. I've got a knob. With the HX Stomp, I can't do anything. I got to go through menu, and then the 3 knobs on the face work, and then you got to go to home, and then it's a whole thing that you got to do to get in to even change the level of the reverb. On the Yamaha, I don't have to do that. And I thought the Yamaha, well, I know the Yamaha has a better distortion sound. To me, this sounds a little too artificial. I'm not saying that sounds bad, but I think the high gain sound in the Yamaha sounds more like a real tube amp, and it feels more like a real tube amp under my fingers versus the Stomp. That's just my opinion. Everyone can have their own opinion. The HX Stomp does well for as small as it is. I think the rack mount module has a lot more horsepower and you can get more out of it. But it's not cheap. That's why we were talking about affordable stuff. It's hard to beat a Katana. And it's hard to beat some of these new, like the GP200, the GP50. There's so many little floor effects processors now that really do well. NUX's new 50, it's the MG50. That thing is stupid. Even if you've got an MG30, that's a good little floor unit. It's like, I think the one's like $300. It's a $300 multi-effects processor. I guarantee you that the MG50 will do, well, probably the MG30 will do everything this Line 6 Stomp does at half the price. I guarantee it. There's one at the store right now. I've been wanting to ask them if I could take it home and do a comparison between the MG30, which is their older model, versus the Line 6 Stomp. I have a feeling the MG30 would be a better platform for your dollar than the Line 6 Stomp. That's just a feeling I get. And talking to people that have been using the MG50, they claim that thing is stupid nice for the price. So just look into what you're looking at. It's you. You know, if you don't want to play a Yamaha and you think Yamaha is brand, don't buy a Yamaha. It's got to fit you. Don't let me or some other YouTube channel tell you something sucks. Because the first thing another YouTube channel is going to tell you, they're going to tell you that unit right there sucks. They're going to say, oh my God, this old dude's playing an SGX 2000 Express. They sucked 30 years ago. Imagine how bad they suck now. And I'm telling you that that's a freaking awesome unit. If you hear someone say it sucks, it's because they didn't take enough time to learn how to program it. You just got to learn. Just like if you go back and watch this stream 4 months ago, I was having all kinds of problems with the HX Stomp. I finally got a good sound out of it. That's not the unit's fault. That's my fault for not knowing how to program it. What was that, hun?
Wicked Fester said, love my MG30 and it runs NAM files now after the Gen 2 upgrade.
Oh, it's running NAM now. I'm sure if the 30's doing it, I'm sure they've already done the 50. So that adds more value to it. And if you guys don't know what that is, a lot of people were kind of shunning it because it took so much system resource. The new A2 files require a lot less system resources to run these new files, and they sound better. Well, hardly ever do you get an upgrade that's free, okay, sounds better, and uses less GPU and CPU and memory. I don't know what kind of magic fairy dust they use to make that happen. Less resources, less memory, runs faster, will run on cheaper machines, and it sounds better. You can't beat that. And that was a lot of problem with people going, oh, the NAM, my computer doesn't like this file or that file. It's better now. And if you are struggling, and let's say you download one of the really high-end files, there's a little slider, and you can slide the quality back and see if your computer, if you lessen the quality, see if your computer will run it. You couldn't do that on the previous version, the A1 files.
Wicked Fester said the Gen 2 upgrade came out when the MG50 did.
Okay. I didn't know that. I really want to play an MG50. I'm just waiting on my local store to get one in. But I can bring an MG30 in and we could do a comparison, side-by-side comparison to the HX Stomp. The drawback to that is I have no prior experience with the MG30. So could I take 1 week with the HX Stomp and get a good sound out of it? It took me longer. So could I get a good sound out of the MG30 in less than a week? I don't know.
Beretta Vandy said, I know I'm biased, but I prefer a tube sound because digital comes close, but just lacks that tube warmth.
I agree with you. I do. Beretta, I agree 100% with you. But if I listen to bands on the radio and I'm not playing it, I couldn't tell you if that band was playing a real tube or if it's a high-end model. I can't. And I've been wrong before. People ask, well, you think that's a tube amp? I'm like, oh, yeah. Well, that's a Helix, or that's a Fractal. Oh, that sounds like a Fractal. No, that's a real tube amp. So it's really gotten to the point when you're listening, yeah, it's really hard to tell. Does it feel different under your fingers? With the equipment that I have been using, I think I perceive a difference. And I say it that way because your interpretation of what you're feeling when you're playing is you. I think there's a difference. I play differently when my tube amp is just hitting it. That being said, when the voltage changes in a modeler, it doesn't affect it like it does a tube amp. Okay? If I plug my rack mount unit in and it gets nice and warm and my line voltage is like 122 volts, it's going to sound completely different than if I plug it in and it's at 110 volts. The 110 volt input power usually is going to give that preamp a warmer, more sag, more of the kind of the sound that I want, if that makes sense. And that's why you hear a lot of artists say that they bring a power soak and a voltage line conditioner with them in their rig. That way they can adjust and try to keep the voltage consistent no matter where they play. Does that always work? No. But that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to condition that power and keep the voltage the same so their amp sounds consistent. There's pros and cons to both ways. If I had to pick, I was going to run my tube amp tonight, but I couldn't find my splitter to plug it into the wing rack. So I ran out of time and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to play the line 6. But I had planned on playing the tube amp tonight. It's just freaking awesome.
Do you want to take your Vox break? It's 10 minutes after 9.
Ooh, Vox break. Well, we're going to lose people. So we got 26 people here. please make comments. If you're in the chat and you're watching, we all want to talk about music gear and talk about what you feel works. No one here, is wrong. If you have a product that has worked for you, just say, I bought this product and this is why it worked for me. When someone asks, what do you recommend? You got to kind of go, well, what are you using it for? And it's not just me, but it's everyone in the chat kind of chimes in and says, hey, look into this, look into that. The more information we can give that person, the better, more educated decision that they're going to make. Okay? It's still up to them to take my, what I say, what Wicked Fester says, or JR Custom Shop, or Jupe, or Wicked Fester, or Pentagore, whoever gave the advice. It's still up to the other person to go, okay, now I need to make a decision. I've heard what everyone says and their argument on why they feel that this is the better, then they make a decision. But that's still better than just throwing a dart going, well, I don't have a clue. I haven't talked to anybody that has any of this stuff. At least tell them why you like it. And that's what the chat's about. Now, I want to thank everybody for doing that. We're trying to be a different kind of YouTube channel here, and your all's opinion is what makes the channel, if that makes sense. All right, guys, we're going to take our Vox break. Please go down, hit the like button for me, and subscribe. We are trying to grow the channel. We've upgraded our cameras, and we're getting ready to make another big upgrade to this channel, trying to make the channel better. Hopefully everyone likes the video quality and everyone likes the audio quality. We have been making changes, and I have next week, I talked to my salesman at Sweetwater. He's told me to call in, and we're going to get in with tech support, and we're going to figure out the clicking noise that we still have in the Behringer. So they claim they can fix it. We're going to see. So at some point next week, we're going to do a phone call to Sweetwater, and they're going to go through all my parameters and my routing and how everything's plugged in. And we're going to see, is it something I'm doing, or is it a driver issue? If we can't find it, there's a Behringer rep right there, and they're going to notify the Behringer rep and at least say, hey, there's an issue here. So, again, we're learning. Now, hopefully, it's something I'm doing wrong. Anyway, guys, let's take our 5-minute break. That allows everyone to hit the restroom, get something to drink, maybe get a snack, and when we come back, we'll continue to talk processors, live gear, which I want to talk about video equipment just a little bit tonight, guys. I want to talk about production stuff. We've been talking amps. That doesn't mean that we have to spend all night doing it, but I definitely want to talk a little bit of video tonight. All right, guys, let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Like I said, please go down, hit the thumbs up button, and subscribe to the channel. We definitely want to grow on YouTube. All right, guys, thank you so much. And now I got to figure out which button to hit, because we are 100% professionals here. I'm pretty sure it's this one. Okay, guys. So I want to kind of talk about video stuff. I know it's a music and gear channel, so I do think that this is part of it. Okay, how I do things now, after talking to Sweetwater, I want to take some of the USB load off the computer. So this channel we stream. We stream more now than we put out videos. So we stream twice a week. Thursday nights, Tech Talk and gear reviews. Saturday night is just we come in here, hang out, talk gear. With that being said, I got a ton of stuff plugged into USB. So you got the interface plugged into USB. I got a Stream Deck plugged into USB. Got the HX Stomp plugged into USB. Two cameras plugged into USB. Not including whatever else is still around here plugged into the USB. That's a lot of USB connections. So, we ordered our first nice camera. That's this camera that you guys are watching. It's a very nice camera. That camera has HDMI and NDI outputs. So instead of doing USB out to the computer, moving forward, I'm not saying that these are the best cameras. What I'm saying is they're the best cameras for this channel as we grow. And I think these cameras will be around. This channel will most likely never be a 20 or 30 or 40,000 sub channel. We do things differently here, so it's a little bit different. It grows slower. But these cameras will get me into the future. What was suggested to me was instead of using USB, I'm going to come out HDMI. And they're like, oh my gosh, he's going to go HDMI to his computer. No. We have purchased a video switcher. It's made by Blackmagic. And you guys just fell off your chairs. Linnell almost fell out of the truck today. when the total cost of this change was actually, well, she was thinking, it was just for that. I won't say how much we spent, but we have ordered a Blackmagic video switcher, and it's not the big one, it's the small one. So it allows 4 inputs. That's all this channel needs. So if I have this camera, a guitar playing camera, and an overhead camera for doing guitar reviews, that's all we need. Now the camera that I have right now, I want to kind of show you guys something. Let's do this. That is an optical zoom. But if you look, it's a darn good, look at the stitching in the shirt. And that's zoomed in.
JR Custom Shop said, I do security and home AV on the side. Blackmagic is a good product.
Yes, and we're trying to buy good products. Blackmagic has a lot, again, remember at the beginning of the stream, we're talking about customer support. Customer support means a lot, especially when you start getting into things that you don't know too much about and you need help. Just like Behringer. Behringer has a whole department, just customer support if you're having an issue. Now, Sweetwater's told me they want their tech department to look at it first. Then if they can't figure it out, it'll get switched over to Behringer. And then they said, all the time, Behringer figures it out, whether they got to do something with their driver, but usually a week. They can fix whatever, if it's a Windows to, or an Apple problem, or Windows 32 or 64, whatever it is, or Windows 11, they can usually update it and it'll work in Windows 10, 8. There's just a code issue. So they're usually pretty good about it, he said. So with coming out of the camera HDMI to the video switcher, instead of, let's just say right now we have 3 cameras hooked up. We have this camera, which is froze because it's a Mevo. This camera, which is a Mevo, and this camera. Now, right now, we have 3 Mevos. This one is frozen, locked up. That's the issue with Mevo. I think the image quality of this camera is good. It's a fine image quality. The problem is they go gray. Okay? If it wasn't for that, I would probably just stick with that. Is that image quality as good as what you're seeing right here? Absolutely not. This is, I'm streaming out 4K right now. Now, YouTube is compressing it. I don't know what you guys see now, but I guarantee it's not 4K. But it's the best that you're going to see on YouTube, period. Because that's just how it is. That's the platform YouTube is. This is as good as it gets as far as 4K. Now, there might be better color, but as far as the image itself, it's 4K. Once I do the Blackmagic thing, I can have up to 4 cameras plugged into that, and it's one USB cable to the computer. I've eliminated 3 USB inputs just doing the Blackmagic thing. Now, OBS, if you watch, when I go from this screen to this screen, that fade that you see is controlled by OBS, okay? Now the Blackmagic unit is going to take care of all that. All my picture-in-a-picture, like this one. Now notice this image is frozen. So if we were doing a guitar review, this camera would be the tuner. And that's the problem. We'll get through the stream, I go to do the intonation, and bam, the Mevo's froze. It says it's working. I see the light right there. It says it's on, it's working. But the image is froze. And the only way to fix it is to shut down OBS and reboot it. Once it does this, it's done. All this will be controlled in the Blackmagic software. It will no longer be in OBS. All my picture-in-a-picture. So now you'll see the tuner here like we did in the last video, which I thought was really good. I'm trying to get my live as good as a pre-recorded review. To do that, I have to have this other picture so you can see the tuner. Using the Blackmagic, all that is going to be taken care of there, and all OBS is going to see is one camera. Because the Blackmagic video switcher has all that built into it. Color correction, picture-in-a-picture, the fade, all that's going to be controlled by the Blackmagic thing. That's going to free up some things. Hopefully that's going to fix some issues, because you guys know we had some issues with the USB cables. My next problem is the Mevo that you see right there with that little red light on. It's USB out only. The Blackmagic is more of a professional type thing. So there's no way for me to use my Mevos because they're just an inexpensive camera. Even though these cameras, the Mevos were $1,300 for 3 of them, they're just cheap streaming cameras. Okay, and I think they're fine for what they are. Okay, if you're just buying one and you're starting out, I think the image quality is good. Okay, and if you're streaming through your phone, the software is more for tablet and phone. It struggles with the computer. It just does. That's what I found out. Since I only have one good camera, we've had to purchase another camera. And that's going to allow us to get this picture-in-a-picture with the good camera, okay? And this camera. And we're going to keep one Mevo up for doing reviews, and eventually we'll buy the 3rd camera. That's what the channel's getting ready to do. We also had to buy, what was the something card?
Capture.
We had to buy a capture card. And before you say, well, I can get a capture card for $30 or $50, yes, you can. but you're not going to get a good one. So we've purchased a Roland, and I haven't had a Roland product in years, but Roland makes good stuff. So our capture card is a Roland. Does Blackmagic make a capture card? Yes, they do. It's twice the cost of the Roland. And talking to the guy at Sweetwater, if you put them side by side, they do the exact same thing, and the Roland does just as good as the Blackmagic. So I decided to go to the Roland one. It's half the price, and it does just as good. And there's no hardware conflict because this combination has been sold to tons of people. So I shouldn't have an issue. So video switcher, all the cameras go into that. Then it goes to the Roland. Out of the Roland, USB, one thing to the computer. And we're going to eliminate, like right now, let me see if I can get this up. Can you guys see this software will no longer be in use? This is the Holy Land software, if you look right here, Holly Studio. So I will no longer need this or any of the OBS or Mevo stuff running in the background.
JR Custom Shop said those Mevos will resell decently if you need to upgrade and recoup cost. Yes, capture cards are not cheap with a good one. Roland capture cards work great and have great support.
If anybody wants the 3 Mevos, they still all 3 work. And you guys watch the channel. You know the issues that I've had running them into the computer. This channel has been running the Mevos for 2 years.
And Penagor said, what about the 4th camera, Linnell Cam?
Well, I can do 4 cameras with this black. I don't want to, I think what I'm doing, I'm overkill. I get it, I'm overkill. But I want people to come in and at least see decent video. I want people to see a decent audio, okay? I think these are things that have to be for people to click on the channel and stay. If the camera's shaking and the image quality and the audio is horrible, it doesn't matter how good you play. It doesn't matter how good your content is. People go, oh, I can't watch it, it hurts my eyes. Oh, I can't watch it, it's so overgained, or I can't hear it. Everything has to be really, really good for people to stay. That's just the first part. Then you got to be able to have a decent channel. And I think we have a decent channel. We just, Mevos are a stepping stone. The camera right here, it's a stepping stone. It's not a Canon R8. And I was told that I should buy Canon R8s. Well, one Canon R8 is $1,850 for one. And I still need the video switcher, and I still need the capture card. Well, I'm going to have 3 of these Venus Airs for the price of one Canon R8. Is the Canon R8 better? Absolutely. It does everything better. I won't say it does one thing less good or not as good. The mirrorless cameras like that have a tendency, when you do long streams like we're doing tonight, of overheating and shutting down. These were the only cameras that I could find that it doesn't matter how long they're on, they do not shut down due to thermal. There's huge heat sinks on them. I haven't had an issue at all with thermal. They don't even get hot. My Mevos, they get warm.
You deflected Penagor's question.
Oh, deflected. Now, what was Penagor's question?
He said, what about the 4th camera, the Linnell Cam?
Well, I am working on the Linnell Cam. Now, if no one buys the Mevos, we can definitely put a Mevo in there. But, guys, I have to live with Linnell.
Is it the one that goes gray so that, you can't see me the whole time?
Yeah. She just likes it the way it is, guys. I think it would be nice to turn the camera on. You could see Linnell sitting in the kitchen with the little microphones and her headset on. She's reading the chat, and as you guys say things, she brings it up to me. Okay. We haven't gotten to the point where the moderators like Steve and Devastator, they're not here. So another thing I'd like to upgrade is to have secondary software where if I miss something, Steve can send me a direct message and I can get an alert here. It's hard for me to talk and play and think about what's going on in the stream and watch the chat and answer every question. It's a different kind of stream.
And JR Custom Shop said the UVC-01 rolling.
Let me tell you if that's the one I got or not. Give me 1 second here, guys, and I'll go to Sweetwater.
And he also said the Venus Live are a good upgrade over the Mevo $2,000 for 4 cameras.
Well, it'd be a little more than that. You're talking about the version 2. There's issues with the version 2. That one's $499. I went with the original version, and they know it's a better camera. That's why it's $550. Version 2 has its pluses, but in my case, the version 1 was the way to go. Yes, it's a UVC-01 USB video capture device. And my price on that was $229.95 for that one. The Blackmagic one is right at $550, I believe. So there was quite a substantial difference in cost in the Blackmagic unit. But the video switcher is an ATEM Mini Pro video production studio with live streaming. It is the smaller unit, but it's all we needed. It does everything that I need to do here. So we are trying to save a little bit of money. And I think this stuff will be just like the Behringer Wing. I can grow with it. I can run up to 4 cameras in this thing. The issue with the model above this, it does 8 cameras, and it does have more features. I wish they made a 4-camera model that had some of the plus features that the 8-camera model has. They don't make that. It's almost like, well, if you want these little bonus features, you got to buy an 8-camera input model. It's all about upcharging you, but it would be nice if Blackmagic, if you're listening, make us a 4-camera or a 6-camera model in between the two, and put the features, all the features that are in the 8-camera model in the other one. Just limit the camera input. Someone like me, I only need 4 cameras. Or make this 4-camera model a plus model, where we get the little added bonus features of your high-end model. We just don't have all the options of running that many cameras in it. That doesn't take anything away from the one that I ordered. It's all I need. So those are the changes in the order that I made today. And of course, I had to order a bunch of new cables. And then I ordered another USB cable for the audio interface, because we were losing audio through connection. So I wanted to make sure that I don't have a bad cable. So I did order a very nice USB cable to replace the Hosa cable that I'm using right now. So if that cable is bad, it should fix that issue. He's cursing First Act Guitars.
Yeah, he said his papaw told him to tell you he's still listening, but not at KB. He put him to work.
Oh. Ha!
And said he's cussing First Act Guitars.
Oh. First Act, believe it or not, everyone, even I used to think they only made like little cheap guitars. First Act actually made some really high-end guitars, guys. I don't know if you guys know that or not, but they made some pretty nice guitars, but never saw them. I only saw First Act at like Walmart. But come to find out, they actually did make some high-end stuff. So that's what we ordered to bring the channel up to the next level. So that's going to be for the next 6 months. That's what it takes to pay for equipment here. It takes 6 months to actually pay for it. And in 6 months, most likely our next step is going to be upgrading our computer system. That's why I was saying I don't think you guys will necessarily see a change in the stream. It's going to be more about producing and editing videos and the speed of the processor on our existing computer. So that's all the new info that I have. As far as new products here at the house, there's nothing new. I did not order a guitar during the Amazon clearance. I decided not to buy the KGD guitar after everyone's comments here. I figured it was kind of a waste of time to order it. Too many people said, nah, skip. Exact same thing with the Leo James. Too many people said skip on the Leo James. So until that changes, we will be skipping Leo James and skipping KGD. Lost my pick. The older I get, the harder it's becoming. If Brian's, I don't think Brian's in the chat tonight. Brian has been struggling with holding a pick. And I was talking to him on the last time he was over. He was talking about it, his grip on the pick. And I've noticed it more in the past year. The pick will start to turn. No, JR Custom Shop. Sweetwater does not sell KGD. That's too funny. Last stream we were on Amazon touring around, and they had the deal days going on, and there was what they call it's like a Telemaster. It's like a Jazz Master and a Tele mixed. It was on sale for I think like $179, and I was thinking about that one. And there was a Leo James on sale. I was thinking about that one.
He said they do have a used one.
Oh, they do? Ha! That's too funny. I didn't check out the used, but they don't carry them new. Yeah, we were looking at it, and I had to go back and look at the chat and kind of talk to Linnell about it. And everyone that kind of come up, it was just like pass, pass, pass. I don't want to stop reviewing budget guitars. That's why we kind of looked at the, the Widowmaker. Passing on Widowmaker right now because it seems like their stock is a little low. So maybe in the future. We also looked at the Steve Brown Sound. After looking at just the stock photos on the website, you can tell the routing around the pickups is really not too good. And most of you said you all hated the headstock, the little hook on the headstock. I kind of agree with you. It's kind of a goofy headstock. It looks like they took the Fender Strat headstock and cut a half moon out of the little, it's kind of strange. There is another guitar. I don't know could you look up that black and red Ibanez that you're thinking about?
No, I haven't looked it up.
What's the model? They make a Geo, and that's Ibanez's really basic guitar. We've thought about ordering that guitar a bunch of times. I think it's not very expensive, but it's black with, I think it's a red pick guard. We thought about that, and then we thought about a Jackson Kelly. The Jackson Kelly was $499. I think we need about a $300 or $250 guitar for our next review.
Sweetwater has the black and red Ibanez for $299.
what's the model number of
It's-
the Ibanez?
Are you ready?
Yep.
GRG
Yep.
131DX.
131DX. So I'm looking it up right now, guys. All right. Let me go back to. So this is the one we were thinking about getting. Seems like a really cool guitar. It's $299. Now I just said I wanted to be right around $250. So that's the back of the guitar. Headstock. And it's got the red double shark tooth inlays.
Steve said maybe try Gorilla Snot to help with the picks. I never tried it though.
Yeah, I've noticed that the pick has been slipping in my hand a lot lately. So I don't know what you all think about that guitar. It's an Ibanez. And we've reviewed a lot of Ibanez's, it seems like, last year. So that's my only thing. Again, I don't want to become the Ibanez channel like the Firefly channel.
You know, just because I get it doesn't mean you have to review it.
Oh yeah, if it comes here, we're reviewing it. The guitar is not going to get just played. It's going to get reviewed and shunned if it sucks. So I was thinking about that, but there's so many other manufacturers. The Gretsch that we did, I think that was a fantastic. What was that Gretsch? It was like $199.
I think so.
Oh,
Something like
$229.
yeah, $229.
$229 for the Gretsch that we reviewed. A fantastic guitar for $229. It's really hard to buy a budget guitar at $200 or 200, or even a Leo James right now at $249. There's several Leo James on Amazon right now with a hardtail for $249, $239. I would buy the Gretsch long before that model. I thought the Gretsch pickups were decent. Tuners were good. The guitar played nice. That's a winner. So we're trying to find a guitar like that for our next review. If anyone has a suggestion, I think that's what we want to do next. This guitar, guys, I know I was going to sell it, but now I'm glad no one bought it. This is a fantastic guitar. And guys, I played with the tremolo. Now watch. I had to remove a spring. So took a spring out of it, and now the tremolo floats much better. It feels more natural. It was like decked. This guitar, it's not routed out here, so the tremolo just sits back on the back of the body. It's more my speed now. This is a great playing guitar. I need haven't been playing much. You guys can probably hear it. I make a lot of mistakes here lately. Work has just been kind of crazy. And I know we were just talking like play an hour a night. I really haven't been able to do that for a while. And I can hear it when I'm playing, when I'm sitting. I get my fingers crossed up. Guitar is a perishable skill. What's that, baby?
Steve said at least the screw doesn't pop out of the pickup.
Yeah, I was playing the Schecter the other day. I keep hitting the mic with the cord. Maybe I should buy a wireless headset. See, it falls right in front of the... Here, I'm going to put it behind me. There we go. That might be a little better. Now I don't even remember where I was going with that. I always forget on drop D. I'm really trying to play more in alternative tunings. And if you notice, the G and the D, they're like root things that I default back to, and you can't in this tuning. So I have to remember if I'm down here and I'm like... See? So I'm really struggling to learn. We get into habits of doing certain things, so I got to remember I can't just hit the root. It's a different way of playing.
Okay, since they want to pick.
Oh, they're going to pick me.
JR said, Pink Ernie Ball Music Man Axis 30th anniversary on eBay. Pink, $3,500. Pink, Avery.
You know, for $3,500, she found a Gen 1 PV Vandenberg in rocket pink. It was what, 1900?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I would buy that 100% long before I thought about buying that Music Man. Now, if you're a Music Man fan, that's cool. But for me, that 87 Vandenberg in rocket pink with the Kahler 2700 Killer Bridge for $1,500 less, that's kind of a no-brainer. I want one of those guitars. Beretta Vandy has one in hot pink, I think. I want one a lot. My drawback is I have a Vandenberg now. Mine's a Gen 2. I played it out for a lot of years. It's got dings, dents, scratches. That guitar, I'll play. Okay? It's already seen its day on stage. It's fallen over. It's had beer dropped on it. It's had me abuse it. It's a player at this point. That guitar she found, I would almost feel bad if I scratched it. It's in that good a shape. So you're paying $2,000 for it. They know it's a low serial number. It was like 340 something.
I think.
It was either 340 or 240 something.
I think it was 3 something.
Yeah, it was 3 something. So it was only like the 300th version made. That's another good thing about the Vandenberg. You look at the serial numbers, that number is exactly which one it was made. So if you're looking at 2,400, that was the 2,400th whatever guitar made. If you're looking one, it says 000010. That was the 10th one made. Really simple. It's not like Kramer where you don't even know what year it was made. Yeah, it was a low production model, but they want $1,900 for it. So for me, $1,900. I have a Gen 2 that scratches that itch and I love. I can take that $1,900 and I can buy several other guitars that I might be interested in playing. This guitar really does sound good. These pickups in this guitar, it's got a heck of a sound. I love this guitar. I'm a Seymour Duncan fan, and it's, look at the, every time I look at it in the screen, I can't get over how nice the flame top is on it. It just pops. It's a beautiful guitar. Ooh, just lost the chat window. Oh, it was my fault. Oh, Johnny Bean come in. Hey, Johnny, what's up, man? Yeah, so we're still looking for one. You guys, more suggestions on the next guitar giveaway. We're trying to minimize what the amount that we're going to spend. And if you're new, before you disappear, we always have to go over the next guitar giveaway. Yes, we have another guitar we're giving away, and it's really simple. All you have to do is be publicly subscribed to the channel. Then you need to head over to Discord and say, I want entered to win the Cort 280 Select guitar. And I'm going to get it out of the box and show it to everybody. This is the next guitar giveaway. I've got it over here. Very difficult to get it out of the box. So here's this guitar giveaway, guys. And if you're not familiar with the guitar, please go to the main channel. We did a full deep dive review on this guitar. Now there's two videos with it. We actually did a video about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago with what was called the Humbucker Single Shootout, where we took this guitar, I believe it was two Yamaha Pacificas, and what was it? It was an ESP LTD and a PV Nitro, and we compared all 5 models, so you can go back and watch that video as well. But this is the guitar giveaway. MAP price on this guitar is $599, so check out the flame top on this one. Let me get OBS up so I can actually see what you guys see. Yeah, check out that top on this one. Beautiful flame top on this one. Headboard. And no shiplap. So this is a solid one-piece maple top, neck, and there's no seam here either. So this is not a cheap production guitar. They're not saving money. There's no scarf joint here, no seam lap here. It's one piece of maple. And notice how they've done the neck. Notice how the neck contour follows the body. And they've sanded the heel down. You can see the arc here. So it's really comfy to hold. And it's got a great bridge on it too. Pickups sound good. And it also has locking tuners. Fantastic instrument. So if you want to enter to win, please go down and hit the subscribe button. Make sure that you're publicly subscribed. Head over to Discord. There should be a link in the chat window. Go over there and there should be the guitar giveaway room. Just go in that room and say, please enter me to win the Cort. Now, if your Discord name is different than your YouTube name, please put your YouTube name in it. Now, Steve said he was doing a form. Is that form up?
I don't think so, not yet.
Okay. I'll let the moderators decide what they were going to do. That way, no one can say that I did this or I did that. There's moderators on the channel. The moderators got together and they figured out the rules on this giveaway. So you can go to that room and find out what you need to do. I had heard that they were wanting to do a form so it was easier to do the spinny wheel. That way they didn't have to enter everything in. I don't know whether that's true or not. So if Steve's in the chat, maybe he can inform everyone what they decided to actually do as far as this giveaway. It's a beautiful guitar, guys. Let's plug this thing in and give it a jam. And yes, Kurt, if you're watching, I'm using my fancy cord. So when you unplug this cord, it disconnects so it doesn't buzz and carry on. It's mean sounding if you want it to be mean, but it actually, in clean, this guitar has a great sound. Like I said, it took us a little longer to pay for this one, but I wanted to do something special this time. We've got great subscribers here, and I didn't want to give away a cheap guitar. So yeah, it took us a little bit longer to pay for this one, but it's a fantastic guitar. So hopefully everyone can look over the extra month that it took for me to pick this one up. What I like about it, it's very harmonic. And then drop tune. It's got a heck of a sound, guys. And I wanted to get this one when we did the review. I was like, man, that's such a nice guitar. I personally wanted to purchase this guitar for myself. And to be honest with you, if you think about it, I think it was like 2 weeks later, we reviewed the, it was another quart. It was that a 290 Fat 2? Is that what that was?
I believe so.
I think it was the 290 Fat 2. It was $100 more than this one, but it had 2 humbuckers. That guitar was stupid as well. So I was kind of like fighting, but I knew they were both great. So I'm like, okay, what's the best giveaway guitar? Well, this one. It's humbucker single. So it does everything well. It's a good working man's guitar. So I picked this one. Now I don't have a place to stick it. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me hang it back up. Since it's out, I'm just going to hang it over on one of Linnell's spots. Mm-hmm. Okay, are we missing any comments, hon?
Oh, wow. Brett of Andy just said, last count, I had a little over 200 guitars.
Holy mackerel. You got 200 guitars, man? Okay, honey. I was selling my guitars for no reason. I'm just putting it out there. I thought I was having too many guitars. I think we've probably sold, what do you think, 10 guitars in the last 5 months?
Probably.
Yeah, at least 10 guitars in the last month. And we're trying to get, we're way behind on things like Trucker Bob's Electronics is done for his Ibanez. So I got to get that done. And in the guitar, and we got Devastator's guitar downstairs. We got to get that done. And we've got a Firefly downstairs that needs to get finished. And there's another one. So right now we're really not taking on any other guitars. Oh, and I got Jupe's knobs on order to fix his guitar. The drawback with Jupe's guitar is it's a 24 spline CTS pot. If someone has a link to a 24 spline control knob, a nice knurled metal knob that has a set screw, please go to Discord and leave me a link. It's surprising how most of the set screw type knobs are all for the import type, like the Alpha and stuff like that. They're not 24 spline. I have found 1 or 2, but it's kind of like, eh. So I'm looking for a really nice 24 spline, black, nice knurled, nice machining knob for Jupe's guitar with a set screw.
Brett of Andy said you got to remember he worked at PV and Dean Guitars.
Oh, well, yeah. Trying to think if there's another PV. Do you happen, I think, if I buy another PV, this is the one I think I want. I think I want a Tracer, okay, that either has the 2700 killer or the Spider bridge that also has the step-down neck like the Vandenberg and the C3 Nitro. I know they made some Tracers that didn't have the step in the headstock, but I think I'm looking for a Tracer now with the step-down headstock, humbucker single with either the Spider or the 2700 bridge. I've seen a couple of them, but they made a blue one that was really pretty. It was like a blue, it had a little bit of flake in it. Looking for one of those or a yellow one.
Wicked Fester said, I thought I had a problem at 60-ish.
Oh my gosh, 60-ish. I got a task for both of you. I think I want to see a list. Can you guys post? Beretta, I don't expect you to list 200 guitars, but holy mackerel, I would be really curious to know 50 of them. Same with you, Wicked Fester. I'm kind of curious. If you have that many guitars, do you have duplicates? Or do you have 6 Les Pauls, 2 Tellys, or do you have maybe 3 Ibanez RGs? Is there one? Is there like a default that you've went to? Like for me, I can't say Super Strat. I have a lot of Super Strats. The guitar that I have the most of, I'm going to say, are Peavies.
Beretta Vandy said he thinks there's one on Reverb right now, that PV you were talking about.
Yeah, I just looked at one about a month ago, and it was at the 750 mark. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they've went up in value. I thought that was a little steep for a Tracer. Now you're more into it than I. You can let me know, is that a good buy now? I was used to paying that for the Nitros, and I know the Nitros now are 1,000 and 1,200, and you don't really see any decent Vandenbergs under 1,800 anymore. So it's constantly getting more and more and more and more expensive.
JR said, I thought I had a problem at 16.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I have 16 now. Now, I know there's probably 30 guitars here, but that's split between Linnell and myself.
I don't have 15 guitars.
You're pretty close.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Let's make a list. It's on now, guys. Where's the piece of paper or pencil? I need to write this. All right. Linnell's guitars. She has a blue RG. That's one. She's got a red Schecter. She has an Ibanez S model. She has an Ibanez RGA. She has an IYV IP30. She has a Firefly Les Paul. She has the guy over in Europe.
I have a Chapman.
A Chapman. She's got an Ibanez Jim. Where are we at right now?
8.
Oh, it's more than 8.
No.
I know I'm missing one. I know I am. Come, you guys help me out here. You guys see her guitars too. She's got more than 8 guitars. I know she does. But I'm not thinking of any more. Okay, she has 8. We'll just say 8 or 9, because I know there's another one that I'm not thinking about. I guarantee you there's another one. You guys remember another one?
The Jackson.
Oh, right. That's 9. The Jackson. Right. I know she's at 10. There's another one. I can't remember. This is the issue. That's what I'm saying. Beretta Vandy, you got 200 guitars. Could you, just like what I'm doing right now, how quick could you actually label out 200 guitars? I couldn't imagine. He's saying 2 Ibanez RGs, 2 Vandys, 3 Nitros. Oops, I guess I have 18. See? JR Custom Shop. When you start counting them, it gets kind of scary. I have 4 or 5 80s PVs right off the top that I don't really count because they're not really guitars that I play that often anymore. I'm keeping them for nostalgia because I played them out live. But I've got 3 Telecasters. I've got a Fender Standard, a Fender FMT Telecaster. I got the Sire. I got the Schecter. I got the Yamaha. RGA, Ibanez. No longer, I don't have any more Kramers. I sold all the Kramers. Come on. You're telling me I got all these. Which ones am I missing? See, this is harder than you guys think.
I have no idea how many you have.
This is harder than when you stop and think, because you put them in a case and you forget about them.
Beretta Vandy said 2 Vandys, 3 Nitros, 2 Ibanez RGs, 2 Dean MLs, 2 Kramers, 2 Dean Vs.
Wow. Yeah, it gets hard. And that's why I started selling them. because I would go out there. I'd go in the room and I'm like, okay, I'm looking for this guitar. Open up this case. I'm like, oh, I need to play this.
He said his wife said it would be easiest to do a video walkthrough of his gear.
I would be up for that. I'd love to see that. I like watching Kurt when he's in his little studio, when he does a pan of all the stuff. I'm like, well, I remember that, and he's got one of those, he's got one of those. To me, it's like show and tell. You know, I like that. It's the same thing with Devastator. When we're doing the guitar giveaways, he's got the rack of guitars behind him. I'm like, well, what's that one?
Wicked Festo said he's working on a list. He'll post it on Discord.
Oh my gosh. He said he had 60.
Ish.
Okay. So we'll say anything over 50. I can't pull them. I know I have more guitars than the ones I just listed, but I'm having an issue. Well, I got the Squier Nashville Strat. Got that. I got the Squier Custom Shop bass. I no longer have my M80. I sold it. My Custom Shop M80. I sold that. Trying to think if I have any other Squiers. I sold my 40th anniversary Squier. Sold both of my. Did we sell the Gray Kramer?
No, I think you still have that one.
I think I still have my Gray Kramer Beretta. I think. But that's just it. I'll go in there looking for a guitar, and I'm like, I'll open up the case. I thought that was this guitar, and I'm like, I really need to play this guitar.
Beretta Vandy said, I found a PVV type in a hard shell case I forgot I even had.
Yeah, that's the one you were telling us about. Well, I'm very curious about that guitar, man. My son, we took a PVV type and modified it, built a custom bridge for it, did some repainting on it. That guitar turned out really, really nice. And back when I bought that, the V-types were worthless. You could pick them up all day long on eBay for $150, $200 if they were like mint. I think now, for whatever reason, the V-types are starting to be worth money. I can't imagine why. It's an import. I don't know. I think I saw one for like $900, a V-type. It was the one that had the binding all the way around it, the mother of pearl binding. I just don't think I could spend $900 on a PVV type, which is a fake Vandenberg, because Adrian Vandenberg, they stopped their sponsorship. So instead of calling it a Vandenberg, they just called it a V-type, which I thought was kind of not so cool a PV.
You also have your Breedlove acoustic.
Yeah, I got a Breedlove acoustic. I
And
forgot about that.
Beretta Vandy said he has a 1948 Silvertone acoustic with F cuts. Had to restore.
Right.
And
Silvertone.
Juke bought the yellow Kramer.
Yeah, Juke bought the yellow Kramer, but I think I still got my gray one. And now that you're talking about acoustics, I do have an Epiphone Dot that I love. And I haven't played my Dot in a long time. I might break out the Epiphone Dot, put new strings on that, and start jamming on that. I haven't played that in at least a year.
Juke said he loves it, the Kramer.
The Kramer Beretta reissue is a fantastic guitar. It is one volume knob, one pickup. You pick the thing up and just rock. You could roll the volume back. A guitar like that really teaches you how to strike the strings and how to be gentle and then attack it. Use your volume knob. You know, as you roll your volume back, it changes the tone of the guitar as well, and it changes the attack. I think everyone needs to play a one pickup guitar with just a volume knob, no tone, and really learn. That guitar is just such a in-your-face guitar, and it doesn't hide anything. There's no there's no hiding. It's a pickup, a volume knob to the amp. I love the Berettas. Great guitar. Got it for $180 years ago. Found the receipt in the case. Yeah, they really didn't sell for too much on the used market. Like I
Wait,
said,
I
we,
think
we did our son, my son got one that we fixed up.
I think he's talking about the 48 Silvertone acoustic.
Oh, I thought he was talking about the Vandenberg. Which one are you talking about, Beretta Vandy? 180 for the V-type or the Silvertone that you restored? I don't remember. I think I paid, it was under $200 for the V-type that we bought for Nathan. It was under 200.
Well,
And it was mint. And it was that, and the people were like, oh, it's the color. Well, I knew we were going to sand it down and repaint it anyway. We ended up, you remember the HHR Chevy? We painted it, they had that desert copper color, and we painted it that color, and it, my gosh, does it pop. It's an awesome guitar. I think the video comparing the original Vandy, the V-type, and the reissue will be in the near future thing. Are you going to buy, Beretta Vandy, did you buy a new did you buy a new Vandenberg?
he has it, the V-type.
Yeah, but he's saying comparing it to the original Vandy, the V-type, and the reissue. Well, the reissue is $3,000. That's the new one made in the Czech Republic, I believe. I had that guitar on pre-order for like a year at Sweetwater. And when it came in, I just couldn't follow through on it. When I started seeing pictures of it and they put a Floyd Rose bridge on it, I was just like, well, this isn't a Vandenberg. It's got a Floyd Rose on it. I couldn't, plus it was $3,000.
He has all three.
Oh, you got a reissue? Do you have the pink reissue or do you have the red one with double humbuckers? Because they make some reissues now with humbucker. It's not humbucker with a single coil. I got all three. Wow. Seeing if I missed anything else. I love the Vandenberg. I can't do the new one.
He said he wasn't happy with the reissue, though.
Yeah, I can't do it. I was thinking about buying the humbucker one after I let the pink rocket pink one disappear, and then I was kind of like, do I really want this? I said it kind of looks, it's a Vandenberg body, but I already have this configuration. I already have a humbucker Super Strat with a Floyd Rose.
He got a black one with single and humbucker.
Yeah, that's the black that has the red going around it. Yeah, I was looking at the red one second. Yeah, I couldn't pull the trigger on that one either. It was just, I'm like,
The black one with the red going around it looks cool, though.
It does. If they made that guitar, I'm going to qualify everything. Give me the pink one. Give me the black one. Okay. But put me a Kaler bridge on it. Peavey. What the? People like me and Beretta Vandy, that's what we wanted. We wanted you to build us that guitar just like the old one. Call up Dave Kaler and say, look, we want you to supply these bridges again. That's the guitar. We didn't want a hodgepodge version. We wanted it with the Kaler. That's what made the guitar so stupid awesome. The Kaler 2700. Okay, if you don't want to build it because that bridge costs too much money to manufacture, fine, put one of your new higher 2700 Spiders on it. Okay, that would still be okay because my second gen come with a Spider. Okay, I don't have the original 2700 on mine. I've got the Spider, but don't put a Floyd Rose on it. You kind of screwed all the people that really wanted a newer version of that guitar, in my opinion. If Seymours are fine, you know, the original Vandenberg had PV wound pickups. I didn't think they were bad. All my PVs except my one Nitro have the stock PV pickups. I think they're fine. You're not making pickups now? Fine. Seymour Duncan's, good choice. I think that was a better choice than going to DiMarzio, because then that's going to give it more of an Ibanez sound. Even though It's a DiMarzio, but people contribute the Vi, the Satch. A lot of those pickups have that tonal quality. So going to Seymour Duncan, you can just put a distortion in it, TB4. I wouldn't go with the JBE because I think that's a little overused. I know they make the TB4 is technically a JB, but Seymour you could have just stick with that. Just give us a Kahler. That's all they had to do.
So he bought the V-Type for 180 years ago. The Silvertone was bought for his grandmother by his grandfather back in 48.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's one that you can't let go, man.
And he also said if he finds used killers or spiders, he buys them.
Yeah, I did that for a long time. And the drawback is I had bought a Squier Vintage Vibe guitar. Okay? This is how, crazy I am. I bought this Vintage Vibe, and I put the, what was the guitar player from Pink Floyd? David Gilmour. I bought the EMG David Gilmour drop-in set with the pickguard and everything for the Vintage Vibe. Put that in it, and then I rerouted the guitar and did all the work to put a Kahler 2700 in it, and I reworked the top of the neck. I put an extra piece of wood, sanded it down, put the square block in because the neck curled down like this to put the locker. Did it all perfect. Loved the guitar, loved the way it sounded, loved the way it played. I just hit the volume knob. So instead of changing the pickguard and going with a double stack tone with the volume, I ended up selling it. One of the guitars I really, really regret selling is that one. I put so much time and work in making that Kahler system. The guitar was just stupid nice. If you're out there and I sold you that guitar, it's the only Squier Vintage Vibe with a Kahler 2700 killer bridge and David Gilmour pickups. Reach back out to me. I want to buy it back. I really want that guitar back. And I sold it dirt cheap, so I doubt very seriously it would probably be 3 times the cost to get that guitar back now. I'm sure everyone has that story. I shouldn't have sold that guitar. And doing what we do, there's a lot of guitars. Even Juke just said that yellow Kramer, that thing plays stupid. And it's a fun guitar to play. You plug it in, just rock it. To me, that's a guitar. If it makes you want to play it, and that yellow Kramer and the gray Kramer, they got a feel, they got something that just pushes you to play. We're winners. Even my Alex licensed Les Paul, I really didn't want to sell that guitar, but it was over 9 pounds. Typical Epiphone Les Paul, heavy. Now I'll stick a Floyd Rose in it. It was just stupid heavy. Beautiful guitar, played great. But I can't keep all these guitars. I can't. When we review them, there's guitars that come in, it's like, I gotta have it. I gotta have it. And it's not necessarily that it's better than another guitar that I may have. It may inspire me to do something different, or it just has that little something that maybe I don't have. And there's so many guitars that do that. And eventually we go, okay, I'm going to get this one. I'm not going to sell this one after the review. I'll keep it. And it goes from you start with 4 guitars and you end up with 40 or 50. And you're kind of like, okay, this guitar deserves to be in a home where it can be played. Because just like my Epiphone died, it's probably been a year since I played it.
Beretta Vandy said, speaking of pickups, what are the humbuckers on your nitros reading? Mine reads 17K.
I don't know what the... I don't think we tested that during the review, what the PV Nitro. I got the humbucker single. I don't really remember testing that guitar. I always thought the pickup in my Vandenberg was on the weaker side.
Steve said his Gibson Sonex is just over 10 pounds.
Yeah, That's so heavy. I know you sent me pictures of that one. The heaviest guitar I ever had was a Gibson Explorer.
And Dwight says he has an Alex Lifeson Les Paul XS guitar with Floyd Rose trim.
Yep. Now do you have the Gibson? Mine was the Epiphone version. I really wanted the Gibson version, and the reason I'm saying qualifying it, you're saying access cut. So I'm pretty sure Gibson classifies it an access cut. I don't think the Epiphone is classified an access. I could be wrong. I had the Epiphone version. I think now they go for like 1,300. 100% a solid guitar. It's got coil splits on every pickup. It's got phase, all kinds of wiring. The tremolo is a FR1000.
It's the Gibson 40th anniversary.
Yeah. That's got the Pizzos, or what, the Pizzo Brit. Does that one have the Pizzo saddles on the Floyd Rose? I think it does. A couple of those models had the Pizzo. I'm not sure if they ever did the dual output where you had the Pizzo out and then the regular out. I'm not too sure if they did that on the Alex license model or not. Mine didn't have the Pizzo, or whatever they call it, that bridge, the saddle. I didn't get that. Now the model before mine on the Epiphone had that, and they discontinued it, probably trying to save a little bit of money. But I can't list them all. As far as guitars that I owned, also has Pizzos. Yeah, you got the really nice one. I bought the Epiphone one because it was a third the cost. That was the main reason. There's nothing wrong with Epiphone. Just did a SG for Steve in the chat. We did a rework on that guitar. After doing a fret level on it and setting that guitar played stupid. So nothing wrong with Epiphone. Not nothing at all wrong with it. Watching the kid with the Acolyte and the amp, I think I'll be downsizing. Interested in setup with some of my lower end, but good stuff to learn to play.
He apparently just gave a kid the Acolyte that he had and an amp, because apparently the kid was learning to play on a POS guitar.
Oh, dude, that's super cool, man. Yeah, anytime we can inspire the younger generation to pick it up. And I don't, one time I was thinking fewer and fewer people were learning to play guitar. I don't know if that's the case. I'm still kind of thinking about that. I think there's still a lot of people picking up guitar. I go into Shenandoah Music, I see a lot of younger people going in there buying, amps and guitars and drum stuff and keyboards. So it's not like it's the geriatrics crew going in there. I hate to say that. I do. I see from 15, right up to 21, that younger group. They're going in there, checking it out, jamming. I see just a large variety of people going in and checking out instruments and playing, and that's a good thing. We need to keep it alive. And what we were talking about earlier, as far as music lessons and stuff like that, it's so much easier now to learn to play than it was. I remember using a tape deck, rewind, play, rewind, play, rewind, play. If you took lessons, you went and you sat with an instructor for 30 minutes and you tried to remember everything during the lesson. Now you've got YouTube, you can kind of watch concerts, you can go, what's he doing there? There's so much power in learning to play now. And the equipment cost. You couldn't buy a nice little amp with effects and a guitar. Now you can buy a decent guitar, new, we're not talking about used. You could buy a decent guitar and a nice little modeling amp, $500, $600. You really can. Well, that's more than my father paid for my Ibanez Roadstar series. Just the guitar. I'm not saying the Ibanez was a horrible guitar. It was a great guitar. But back then, Ibanez was a clone company. This was like, 83, 82, the Roadstar 2. Ibanez wasn't known for shredders. They were known for clones. Hey, it's a Strat copy. It's a Les Paul copy. But it was almost $700 my dad paid for that. And then he bought me a Fender Twin Reverb amp. That was expensive. Nowadays, it's not like that. You can take your kid in. If you know what you're looking for, you can walk out of that store with taxes and everything, I guarantee you can walk out with $600 and have a better guitar than I walked out of, and lesser cost. That's the thing. You could pick up that Gretsch that we reviewed for $229. We were just talking about $159 for that little Mighty New X. I think it's like $180. That's a heck of a little combination. Great guitar, nice little amp. Get yourself a cord and a strap. I guarantee you could walk out for $450 for your amp and your guitar, a cord and a strap. How can you beat that? I mean, that's crazy cheap. Crazy cheap. All right, guys, we're going to end the stream tonight. We've been on for 2.5 hours. I want to thank everyone for coming in. If you haven't already, please go down, hit the thumbs up button, and subscribe. If you subscribe, that's the first step to entering the guitar giveaway, which is over there. It is a Cort Select 280. Rewind the stream, go back and look at it. I showed it. That's the first step to enter to win. Second step, go to Discord, go to the guitar giveaway, and say, I'd like to be entered to win the Cort. So I haven't looked at all the rules. The moderators set up the rules on when all that takes place, so I need to go back and look at it. But go enter to win that guitar. It's going to be it is an awesome guitar. So everyone should enter to win that guitar. Believe me, it's a kick-ass guitar. We didn't have Devastator on. Devastator is house setting, to my knowledge, unless he came in and I didn't see him.
No.
Yeah. So we're gonna be missing one of our moderators probably for the next 3 or 4 shows. He is house setting, and the service there is really bad. So wish it Devastator well and all that. I think he's safe. He's just house setting. So we're gonna be missing him for the next couple of weeks. And I want to thank Steve for coming in and moderating tonight, and the Funny Honey for moderating. Say thanks to the people with the little blue wrench. They're here to help. And if you had a question and I missed it, those guys are the ones that kind of move the show along and let me know what's going on. All right, guys, thanks a lot. And we're going to do our 5-minute ending window. And I'll see everyone Thursday night. I think Brian's coming back Thursday night, right?
I think so.
I think Brian will be here Thursday night for Tech Talk. Don't know what we're doing, but it's Tech Talk, so we're going to be talking pickups, tremolos, or strings, or necks, or something.
Beretta Vandy said the Tracer that you are wanting average 500 to 700.
I could do 500, I think. But if that's what they're going for, that's what they go for. I mean, if one's in really, I shouldn't say that. In today's money, $500-700, that's a lower priced instrument. It really is, guys. If I could find a nice, like, yellow tracer, I would do 700 for that. I would. I got to look at it this way. For $700, if I bought a new guitar off Sweetwater, could I get a guitar for $700 of equal quality to that tracer? I don't think so. Matter of fact, I know not. Because the Tracer's a 2-piece neck, no shiplap joint. It's going to have the upgrade, a really nice bridge, good pickups. Yeah. I mean, if you really stop and think about it, that's the guitar to buy if you're wanting an awesome guitar and you're trying to get the best bang for the buck. That doesn't mean, guys, go out and buy my Tracer, because I want one. But if you're thinking about it, these guitars were awesome. We don't always have to go new. We can go back. Those guitars were great then, and they're great now. There's no issues with it. When we purchase a guitar, we're not buying it, oh, it'll be good for 5 years and it'll fall apart. These are well-made instruments, guys. They are. Even my little Fender Standard made in Indonesia. That guitar will be around in 20 years. It will be. The 80s guitars were manufactured so well. So we can buy these type instruments. If you're looking for that sound and that type guitar, there's nothing wrong with buying a guitar like that. Whether it's a BC Rich, a Charvel, some of the Jacksons of that era. The issue with Charvel and Jackson, you're not buying an 87 or 88 Jackson for $500 to $700. You're just not. So the PV Tracer kind of falls in that crack. It's a Super Strat that was awesome that a lot of people don't know about, and you can still pick them up reasonable. All right, guys, we're going to do our 5-minute ending window. Hope to see everyone Thursday night. And again, please go down, hit the thumbs up button, and subscribe. It enters you in to win this month's giveaway. All right, guys, see everyone Thursday night. And leave some comments. Come out of the video and back in and leave comments.
Well, they have to actually go in and enter.
Yeah, you do have to go to Discord and enter. Okay. You can't hit the subscribe button, go to Discord and enter. That's the only two things you got to do. There's no cost involved. It's me giving back to you guys for super chats. Oh, and if you gave a super chat, thank you. All right, night, guys. I gotta find the right window. I'm all disorganized tonight. See everyone Thursday.